Here's what you're missing over at patreon.com/addressinggettysburg.
From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios, you're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
That's what she said.
I am Bethany Yingling.
And I am Veronica Brzezinski.
And here we are, and it is spring outside.
Officially, yeah.
I know, I'm so excited.
We have the door open.
Yeah.
Some
for
fresh
the
air.
First time ever in my life, I actually was upset by winter.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm actually very excited that it's spring. Maybe I'll be a much more better person.
Well, tell me about
going
that
forward.
Real quickly, because I don't like winter, but I don't know if I've been upset by it. So what was...
I apparently was affected by it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was like in a funk.
Yeah. What are they? Seasonal affect disorder.
Yeah, which my stepfather has, but I have never had this situation. I love winter. You know what I think it was? It didn't snow.
It really didn't. We had really mild snow.
Yeah, and I'm obsessed with snow.
Mild winter, but yeah, mild snow.
Yeah, and we didn't have any, and I think it caused me to have a serious situation in my brain.
Aw.
But I'll get over it.
Well, it sounds like you are. Spring.
Yeah. What about you?
Just happy to be here. Just, I've been working a lot. And I disclosed to you before this particular episode, I'm just kind of dragging today. So
that means you'll make really awesome comments throughout the entire thing because you're tired.
I'm sure that's normally how that goes when you're not on your A game.
Yeah.
So
I have this mark button. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark. Veronica said something weird. Okay.
That's not unusual.
But I do have a mark button, so we can take care of it.
All right, cool.
All right, today we're very privileged to have Miss Carolyn Ivanoff, who is going to talk to us today about Cornelia Hancock, who I'm going to admit, and I mentioned to you earlier, I didn't know very much about until the foundation added her to their train station lineup at the Ticket to the Past. So I'm very excited to learn more about who she was because, of course, that's just a snippet to wet your whistle there. So this is going to be a whole new adventure. Now, Carolyn.
Yes.
You have something very exciting that just happened.
Yes.
In that your book that you wrote, We Fought at Gettysburg, it's the first-hand accounts of the survivors of the 17th Connecticut Volunteer Infantry. And it is officially out.
Yep.
And people can buy it.
Yes. And
can you let us know where all you can get this book at? Because it is hefty and amazing.
Yep. It just came out.
Congratulations.
I noticed copies for the historian this morning. I have copies in the car, and Jim Schmick has copies, or you can contact the Gettysburg Publishing on their website, and you can get copies from them.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. It's the culmination of a lot of work. I officially started the book in 2018. That's when I signed my contract, but my mother was really struggling and lived with me, and so when she passed in June 2019, that's when I really got serious. And it should have been out last year, scheduled to be out last year, but COVID and the pandemic and all the shortages really screwed up anything. So I think it's auspicious. It's coming out for the 160th anniversary of Gettysburg.
Yep. If you're going to buy a book for the 160th, this is a good place to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, when you put it down, it actually makes a thump noise. That's how awesome it is. This is not a pamphlet.
Lot of pictures.
Don't say that.
There's a lot of pictures.
Don't say that. This is wonderful. I'm seeing
I like pictures.
One picture every couple pages.
Yeah.
Now, come on. Yeah. There's a lot of writing in here. You did a lot of work. Mm. But in addition to that, and this amazingness, you were the assistant principal at the Shelton Intermediate School in Shelton, Connecticut.
And Shelton High School.
Shelton High School.
Yep.
And you were named the American Battlefield Trust Preservation Teacher of the Year in 2003.
Yes, when I was still teaching.
Yeah,
yes.
Which means you're awesome.
Maybe.
For sure. I don't think you get that award just
Yep. And you are a living historian.
Yes.
And a local historian as well. And you're from Connecticut.
Right.
Hence the lovely accent.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorite things.
But I have no accent.
You do. And it makes me so happy. All right. So today we're going to talk about Cornelia Hancock. But before we get into her life, I wanted to ask you why you chose to talk about her above all the other women that were on the list of potential topics that we gave out.
You know what? She is a very remarkable person, very difficult to find information about. She was a 23-year-old Quaker girl in 1863, and she was determined after all of her cousins and her brothers went off to war. Again, Quaker household. Quakers are usually not pro-war, but because she was from a border town in New Jersey, that supported the Underground Railroad, and because many Quakers viewed the Civil War as a war for freedom and a just war and a war against slavery, her cousins and her brother and her community supported the war, and she was determined to do something patriotic to assist the soldiers, and she determined that she herself would go off to war as well.
Yeah, so which is totally taking herself out of her normal, which was expected of her as a human, as a woman in this time period.
Yes.
She decided, hey, I'm going to completely defy the expectations of my life and go out here. I love women like that.
Yep,
sure. It makes me so happy. So what do we know about Cornelia Hancock's life before the war? You said she was a Quaker.
She was a Quaker. They lived in Salem or Hancock's Bridge, New Jersey. She was the daughter of Rachel and Thomas Hancock. The family subsisted on a inheritance. Her father was a very interesting character. He went
As all
fishing
fathers are.
every single day, and the family ate fish every single day. And she was descendant from a long line of Quakers, and Hancock House in Salem's Bridge, New Jersey, is a state park. It is where a terrible British massacre took place. They killed everyone in the house, and they bayoneted them. They didn't shoot them, but the British were very, very angry because the local population was supporting the Continental Army and vowed vengeance. So you can look that up. Again, it's been a state park for many years. I have pictures of all of this. She was not born in that house, but her father owned that house. Her mother, Rachel, did not like that house because after they got married, they served liquor there. Oh. Her father was what was considered a wet Quaker, and Mrs. Hancock forced him to move out of the tavern house into another house close by on Alloway Creek, and that's where Cornelia was born.
So also a strong woman is what you're saying.
Very much so.
And I'm sorry, I'll interrupt real quick, Carolyn. So are you saying the folks that were massacred, were they relatives? Or
yes.
Okay.
It was her, yes, they were relatives. It was March 20th, 1776. General Mao Hood from the British Army was very angry with the people of Salem County because they supported the Continental Army. And on March 21st, 1778, probably said 1776, but it's 1778, Major John Graves Simcoe and 300 British troops attacked the tavern house.
Wow.
And everyone inside was bayoneted and killed. And there were 10 killed, 5 wounded, and Judge William Hancock, her grandfather, I believe, died several days later.
Wow.
So if you go to New Jersey and you go looking for this house, it's a beautiful brick house, and they obviously talk a lot about the massacre, and the New Jersey State Park System supports this. They have living histories there, and in fact, the anniversary just passed March 21st, and they did have something. The state and the local historical society usually do something at the house.
Did you ever? This is a tangent, but did you ever see the TV show Turn about the spies? Wasn't Simcoe depicted in that? Or am I thinking
he
of the
may have been. I don't know. He He was.
Right, that's why I was sorry. Matt was saying off on the outside that he was a villain in that, and I thought that's what rang a bell. That's justified.
I've only seen a couple of episodes of that, but I'm not, I didn't remember that offhand. But that does ring true if you look at this this massacre.
Wow. Yeah, apparently he's not a very good guy, and I know Simcoes now that live in our area. So guys. I want to check into that family tree.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I interrupted. So you were explaining that the inheritance basically came to
Thomas.
Cornelia's father,
right?
Okay,
and he was, he was a real odd duck. He, even though they no longer lived at the tavern. Again, he was a wet Quaker.
Yeah.
And he would go fishing every day, and he had these initials TTY carved into his canoe, which he launched from the back of his house to go fishing every day. And he was...
Why TTY? Am I being dumb?
That's what all the neighbors said. And he kept him guessing, and he never explained it. And so he went fishing every day, and the family took the best fish that he caught, and then they donated the rest to the poor.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And he was quite the character. And, she obviously loved him, but he was a real odd duck. I think her mother was the strong person in the relationship.
Yeah. Well... I mean, when you see how Cornelia goes about her life, she obviously had a strong role model, so it makes total sense that her mom would be that way.
And there were other children? Or?
Yes, there were other children. One brother died very young. Another brother was in the service during the Civil War in New Jersey infantry. Her sister Ellen married a very prominent Quaker doctor, Dr. Childs, in Philadelphia. And they were like cutting edge reformers and, abolitionists. I don't know if you know Barbara Franco, who was the first director of the Seminary Ridge Museum when they opened.
I know of her.
She said that she believed the family were also spiritualists. But yes, and it's a very fascinating. They belong to the Race Street Friends. Mm-hmm. And they had quite a bit of pull. Cornelia hatches this plan to go to serve in the Civil War as a nurse. She knows nurses are needed. And she hatches this plan with her brother-in-law, Dr. Child, that at the first opportunity, he will come get her and he will take her with him to be his nurse.
Sure, that went over really well.
Not with her parents.
Yeah, I'm sure not.
But on July 5th, 1863, after the Battle of Gettysburg, when all of these rumors are flying around, his carriage is sent to pick her up on a Sunday morning.
So he didn't even go. He just sent a carriage?
Well, she was going to meet him. Huh. So he sent his carriage to pick her up. It's Sunday morning. What she does is she jumps in the carriage, and her mother's like wringing her hands saying, Cornelia, Cornelia, thee is too young to go. Cornelia's like, I'm going. She gets in the carriage, and she ducks down so that as the carriage goes through town, none of the neighbors see her. Wow. And they won't question her. So she does get to Philadelphia. She meets her brother-in-law, Dr. Child, and they immediately get on a train to Baltimore. At Baltimore, Dorothea Dix is at the station, and she is vetting nurses who are heading from Baltimore to, Gettysburg. The train doesn't come to Gettysburg. It goes to Hanover Station, and they have to switch trains. So Dorothea Dix immediately gets into a fight with Cornelia's quote-unquote chaperone, Miss Farnham, another great Quaker lady. who tries to defend Cornelia and says, she's qualified, she's going. Her brother-in-law, well, they have a big tussle at the train station. And Dorothea Dix is like, no, she's too young, she's too pretty, she's got rosy cheeks. And Cornelia is just like, they're all arguing. Her brother-in-law gets in the mix. She says she doesn't know what the outcome of the argument was, because she just gets on the train, sits down.
For exclusive early access to our new show, That's What She Said, a podcast about women in Gettysburg and the Civil War, go to patreon.com/addressinggettysburg.